Move on, talk about steel companies because big news on the steel this past week here. We do see that we're going to look at Steel Dynamics. Now, their symbol is STLD. We're going to say, well, I think I'll save that for that because I know you got some information on that. Let me give the numbers first here, I think. PE ratio, and actually the steel industry, symbol again, STLD, only 2.1% short on the flow side, 85% institutional owned. PE ratio 17.6 versus 33.4. Price to sales 1.2 versus 0.5. Price to book value 2.3 versus 0.8. And price to cash flow 12.5 versus 5.7. A little bit pricey there, but the PEG ratio is only 0.6 versus 34.6 of the steel industry. So that's showing you're not paying very much for the growth of this Steel Dynamics company. We do see their earnings. Wow, they were down 47.9%, but the industry was down 45%. Sales were down 7.4%. Industry is up 3.4%. Now, the analysts over the next 5 years give a 19.5% growth rate versus 0.9 for the industry. So I'm liking to seeing that. We do see a dividend rate of 1.5%, using 25% to pay that out. The balance sheet, current ratio, very good, 2.7 versus 2.3, not much debt, 0.5, same as the industry. We do see a net profit margin of 6.8 versus 2. Return on equity is 13.3 versus 4.7. Free cash flow, not good, though. It's a negative 157 versus 307. And return on invested capital, 9.4. If you don't give me something bad here, I might leave the show and go buy this stock. I mean, looking pretty good. What do you got?
Yeah, and what did you say the debt was again? That's always
The
obviously
debt was pretty good. The debt was, where is the debt at? Come on, where'd you go? 0.5.
Yeah,
And a big current ratio, 2.7.
Yeah, that's a nice pairing there. Current price here for Steel Dynamics, again, their ticker symbol STLD, $133.56. 52-week range, the low here, $103.17, and the high, $155.56. I'll tell you, one of the things that concerns me with these steel stocks is just the performance, and it's such a cyclical industry. But I mean, the 5-year return for Steel Dynamics, 351%. I mean, you look over the last 10 years, 506.8%. I mean, this stock has done so well, and that doesn't even include the dividend.
Yeah, I was going to say the dividend, the 5-year return is 421%. The 10-year, 647%. That's why we love dividends. We like companies that pay dividends because it really adds to your performance.
And you said, what was the 10-year?
647.
Yeah, I mean, you think about that. I said 500 for the 10-year. That's about 150% more in terms of the return, just because of a dividend that, was like 2% or something now? I mean, it's just so crazy how impactful those dividends can be. Dividend yield is actually 1.5%, so even less. But going forward, I mean, it looks good. I mean, I go out here to December 2026, $10.32, $12.32 is those estimated earnings per share. Gives us a target sell price of $204.51. So I think there's a lot to like with Steel Dynamics. The interesting thing about them in the news this past week, we did see that, again, talking about Trump's tariffs, he did double tariff rates on imports for steel to 50%. So, I mean, this is something that, he's really against, obviously, China dumping steel here in the U.S., which allows the U.S. players to really kind of sell, obviously, to U.S. companies. So, I mean, that could be very helpful to Steel Dynamics and growing sales because you're competing against less foreign steel makers.
And I did look at the debt on the balance sheet here. Long-term debt is about $3.8 billion. Unfortunately, that's higher than 3 years ago, and it's at $3 billion. So their debt is increasing, but still compared to their equity, because their equity is, let me look at that real quick, $8.8 billion. So pretty safe on that. I like this, and I believe that steel companies will do well in the U.S. going forward.
Well, and we talk about, again, if there is reshoring,
yeah,
I mean, you're going to need steel to produce those facilities, right, to build out for those companies to have these factories.
Right.
I mean, it could be an intriguing place to be investing, I'd say.
And you got the main players of what? Nucor, U.S. Steel was picked up by
Nippon.
Yeah, I was going to say
Nikon. And it's kind of a weird deal, I know. I don't know the full details on it, but, Trump kind of sold it as more of an investment rather than a full-out buy, but all I know is U.S. Steel went up to that target sell price of where Nippon Steel offered to buy them, so it appears that U.S. Steel will no longer be trading on the stock exchange, would be my guess.
Yeah, but Steel Dynamics is one you can still pick up and benefit from that. We only really have 3 major steel companies.
Well, now only 2.
Well, but Nippon did say... Oh, They did say that they're going to keep everything here in the U.S.
Yeah, but I don't think you can buy U.S. steel
No,
stock.
you can't buy the stock. Yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you for listening to the Smart Investing Show. It is for